even second reading, which said that the federal government is about to take our rivers, our land, our river bank, and so basically they're going to take over Buguma, they're going to take over Abonima, the way that they are planning to take over Emoha local government area, where land is Elele, Eche, Ogoni, and all these places where there is land. In the waterine areas, we don't have land. But the banks that the federal government is claiming, we should be aware as a people that without us, the people of the riverine area that live at the mouth of the Atlantic Ocean, in the creeks, in the mangroves, in the swamps, if we are not there, and if we are not in Nigeria, then Nigeria will not be able to claim any land, any waterfront that has led to the claim of also the resources there. We need to say no. We must say no, because we become non-existent once we give up our land. Our land is our life, our water, our mangroves, our swamps, our rivers. This is our life. This is who we are. This is what makes us who we are. The land in Emoha, in Ndele, in Obakere, in Eche, in Elele, in Ogoni. This is what makes the Ogoni man. This is what makes the Eche man, the Egi man, who he is. He cannot live in the air. And there is no way. And if there is a law that lays claim to this land, then we must say no to this law. And this is where our lawmakers come in. We must change this law that lays claim to our resources. Now, if the federal government, for instance, what stops the federal government from taking land in a particular place where they know there is natural resources? And I want to believe that they know these things, and that's why they've targeted certain areas, because they know what they are doing. And we need a situation where we have to have our voices heard. Today, I was listening to a program before I came to the studio in one of the morning shows on television. And very clearly, one of the people arguing in favor of the federal government stated very clearly that 2 years ago, the government of Bayelsa had already given the headsmen 1,200 hectares as Ruga. I mean, I heard him clearly. If he denies it, they can play it back unless they pull it off air. But it was heard clearly. So the point, therefore, is that we are not even aware of the depth that these issues have taken. Now, going back to the bill that wants to lay claim, or has already on paper laid claim to Abonima, Tombia, Buguma, Boni, Okrika, all these places across the Niger Delta, that is laying claim to these places. Burutu, if we remember, is also a seaport. Abonima is also a seaport in Akwa Ibom. Now, when they do this, when this is done, the federal government is laying claim to these areas that will give us and has given us and must give us livelihood and resources to survive economically. Right now, even our local economy is no longer controlled by us. The people selling sachet milk in Abonima are no longer Abonima people. The people selling Ngolo and Isam, and these are the local economy. So a situation where our local economy is not controlled by us is very, very dangerous and very detrimental to our survival. we too have threats of ocean encroachment, the ocean coming to encroach in our land. So anybody telling us that there is desert encroachment across Africa, and that is why a group of people of a particular culture and religion must now shift to Nigeria to come and claim land, is unacceptable. It's dependent on our self-determination rights to be established. We have a right to self-determination, to self-governance. In Nigeria, we're not saying we want to be self-determined and tomorrow we want to live. That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is that we need to restructure this country so that these rights will be established, so that we will be self-determined. Every ethnic nationality must speak for itself and determine what is right for it as a people. So we need to have an understanding, a true understanding of what is going on in Nigeria. Now, when, for instance, when the government says that it is going to create a Ruga settlement, let me quickly, before I open the lines, let me quickly run down for you what a Ruga settlement will contain. A Ruga settlement will contain families. A Ruga settlement will contain cattle and livestock, goat, chicken, ram. It will contain ranches. It will contain grass. It will contain feed-making farms, abattoirs, dairy, milk, meat, skin and leather, processing plants, housing, mosques, schools, roads, power, water will be supplied to this. To this settlement. And so, with this is what makes a local government. These things I have reeled out is what makes a local government, and the number of people. Now, if you give my land in Rivers State and you provide all these things to somebody who is not an indigenous person of Rivers State, you have brought in a stranger into my own state and have made him an indigenous person of Rivers State. So I don't know what type of government. I don't know what type of government that is. It's like moving into my house because I have 5 rooms or 7 rooms in my house that I built for myself, for instance, and because I'm the only one living in that house, you now come because you have 3 wives and 4 children. You now come to my house and say, I must give you part of the house because I am not using the other 6 rooms. No, I will not give it to you. But that is what is about to take place. And on the issue of the claiming of the waterfront and anything to do with river banks as riverine people, this suggestion originated from the Ministry of Transport. And the Minister of Transport, as at the time this thing originated from, is supposed to be a River State son. And to be fair, from a video that is circulating by one of our own River son, the claim was that he made contact with the Minister of Transport and said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to the riverine people? And the Minister of Transport responded and got in touch with government. Whatever happened has happened. The thing was kept on hold. Now, we're back with this same bill again. So, we're being attacked from different prongs. If you look at River State issue, I don't think that, quite honestly, River State has recovered from the trauma of the last 4 years. Not to talk of from the trauma of the election in this state. I don't think we have recovered. So, to now be faced again with this traumatizing situation where there is a list of all the states and the places where land is supposed to be. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But you see, this is why I say that it is the responsibility of government to correct any information that is not the right information. If the government, if I read somewhere that Emoha, a local government area, they're going to take land, the Elele, they're going to take land, that's federal government, and give it to Ruga, and that Bayelsa State has given Bayelsa palms. If these things are being said and the federal government does not debunk it, debunking it is not saying it is false news or it is fake news. Debunking it is not saying that it is hate speech. Debunking it is not saying arrest this person for saying so. No, that's not debunking it. Debunking it is the government getting up to say this news is not true, don't mind them, nobody is coming to take your land. Once you say that, I can hold you to that. But if you don't debunk it, then it is my right to believe what I have read and what I have heard. And so it is primarily the responsibility